And we're back. So I just bought my annual pass for Prairie City off-highway vehicle OHV park for the cost of $50. And yeah, not a bad price. It's $5 a visit to get in here. So I'm pretty sure I'll go more than 10 times. Alright, and give you your ride around, touring around the park. So I've spent lots of time here on my CRF250L. That's what I learned how to dirt ride on. And yeah, for me, I mean, that was definitely the way to go. This bike I got pretty cheap a few years ago. I paid $3,000 for it, and now I still don't even see them for $3,000. But yeah, so I thought when I went to go buy this bike, I saw it on Craigslist. I called the person up, woman. I was like, yeah, I'll buy the bike tomorrow. You know, I was pretty much expecting to get mugged or robbed or something, because I still don't see these bikes for $3,000. It said it had 1971 miles on it. So and you know, I bought this bike to kind of, you know, obviously just to ride off road and you know, be pretty hard on. But you know, you get a new bike, at least for me, it's hard to be hard on it. Nice thing about my CRF250L was that it was old, and it was you know, it was pretty beat up. Not terribly beat up, but you know, it was crashed a bunch of times. Some kids owned it and stuff, so I didn't mind really crashing it. And it's off road, so it really doesn't have a lot of shit to break. So this bike still, you know, I used to crash that other bike like crazy. This bike I still don't feel 100% comfortable just crashing it. But anywho, so this is Prairie City, for better or for worse here. I'm rocking my Garnet boots today, not my off-road motocross boots. And the reason I went that route is because of the motocross boots. When I wear these cottony type pants with the knee protectors, they're a bitch to get inside the boot, and they hurt like hell. So I really don't know how much water to expect out here. A lot of these soils are pretty clay based. So see, maybe you're lucky you get to see a crash or something. I don't want to jinx myself, but I usually don't ride like super crazy hard out here, so I don't usually crash that much. This is also where I took the Black Swan moto class, and so like an off-road riding academy. And yeah, it was an awesome class. I'd recommend it to anybody. A lot of value for the price. So. It's interesting to me is how much stuff changes out here from every time, depending on the weather, how eroded things are. You know, these giant rocks out here. A lot of this area is old mine tailing area from hydraulic mining. Oh, a little bit of water here still. So a lot of clay soils, like a hard clay pan. So hasn't rained in probably a few weeks, but it's interesting to see there's still a fair amount of mud out here. Mud and water. Standing water. Over to my left over there, that's Scott Road. It's kind of a fun paved road to go tearing down. Probably could have took a little bit more air pressure out of these tires, but I didn't. I'm gonna try to stand up all day today. I try to remember to use my rear brake more. That's something I got dinged on a lot in class. Not using my rear enough. So yeah, today's a Friday, so this is a great day to come riding here because it's a work day and not a lot of folks here on a weekend. It could be a shit show out here. When I come on a weekend, I try to come early because I do find that most of the yahoos come out here later in the day. But there's a lot of quads and side-by-sides here, and I don't know, I hate to say it, I'm not a huge quad or side-by-side fan. I think a lot of them aren't really great riders because I think it's way harder to ride a motorcycle. And Christ, get hit by a side-by-side, it's pretty like getting hit by a car. The old BMWs riding around out here. I do mean old BMWs. There's another one here. I don't know what this guy's on. A Triumph, either a speed triple or a street triple. Give those boys credit for riding around here. You got a practice motocross track over here. I never realized how light and fluffy motocross tracks are. So I rode around there once on the, I just call it the F, for the T30F, and oh my god, it's like I was walking on the moon. Did not feel super comfortable. With these whoopties here. So one of the things that's kind of crazy here is I mounted my Rotopacks the long way with the seat rather than the short way. Try to be a good rider. And yeah, when I gotta absorb a shock and stick my ass back, sometimes I take the can right in the rear. So that could be a little disheartening. It can also be a little painful. That's what I probably should have said. Tell you what, this is the wrong choice of boots. I remember this the last time too. The arches in these boots, I guess in my opinion, don't really have enough, they're not solid enough to really make you feel good standing up on the pegs. Like my arches already hurt. It's like I'm almost like I'm standing on like barefoot or a I said I'm definitely not a awesome off-roader, but for the most part I can get through things. A lot of times not very gracefully. Gonna be a little slippy here. This is Prairie City. I've never been to another OHV park from the state, but what I have heard is that there's a lot of other, well actually a lot. I've been up to, there's a small one up in by the Auburn Ravine State Park. So yeah, it's this isn't bad, but I've heard a lot of the other parks are a lot nicer. Look at this big old eroded spot. Yeah, I kind of really wish I would have started out on a dirt bike as a kid. I mean, it's hard trying to pick this up when you're in your 40s. A little bit more hesitant, more concerned about crashing. Both from, hey, I don't like to crash, and when I do crash, it hurts a lot more. My feet are hurting so bad I gotta sit down for a while. I don't remember which Garnet, that's even how you say it, dual purpose boots these are, but I'm not gonna lie, I really don't like them. Never liked them. The sole cracked pretty early on from my 650 GS, riding without the rubber inserts. the waterproofedness. Ended pretty early on too. I don't know if that's because of the sole cracked or something else, but Mrs. Smith's got some, I don't know if you call it Alpine Star Scouts. And I was thinking about getting those, but they don't make them anymore. So definitely looking for you know, kind of an enduro-y type boot, but not something that's as stiff as a motocross boot. This is gonna be pretty bad, I think. That wasn't as bad as I thought. So this side of the park is definitely more cobbles and you know, and tailings. Over here. Remember the first time I came out here with Mrs. Smith, we went down this trail, and I agree this is a pretty basic trail, but you're not used to hitting gigantic ass rocks. Like the size of softballs and beyond. Be pretty intimidating. Open up my visor all the way. I don't actually think this was the trail I went on with MRS Smith. Like, look at the size of that rock. Ugh. See, some of the stuff is pretty muddy still, so I'm kind of glad I came out today. And then tomorrow it's supposed to rain. And we're still going out tomorrow, Sunday. Makes this place a little worse. So that's something I have realized. And obviously they're both CRFs, but they're two different bikes. My other one was air cooled and this one's liquid cooled, so this one weighs a little more, but yeah, the tires on the other one seemed like they were way better. All these hills, I never know if I'm gonna have a plateau on the top or you're gonna go straight down. Some gear there. You can see here how just Rocky, this is. This way. Last time I went straight when I was here for the class. Now I got stuck in some stuff. Or maybe this is where I got stuck. Get out over here. This is kind of a nice open area to ride. It's just can be challenging to get here with a super newbie. To open my vent soon. I'm getting hot. You can imagine riding here and then you have a quad or side by side come flying over the hill at you. Some 7-year-old. He's not really a good driver. There's a big hump there. So this is probably pretty loose, gravelly stuff here. I might already mention this. My goal is when I get Mrs. Smith 650 GS back from the shop is to take the fancy windscreen off, put the crappy one back on, start riding that bike a little bit more off-road. This is the rock climbing crawler section over here to my left. I think they also have trials bikes down there too. Yikes, look at this mess. It's going to be bad here anyway. Slippy. A little bit. Yeah, I can feel that there. Looks like a weather station. hail and mud flying out of my bike now. I'm just going through that one slippy section. Looks like they're trying to revegetate this area to my left. Coming up here, I'll see if I can give a view of it. That's the Hangtown track. That's like a facility within the facility, so you have to, I guess, pay to go in there and ride around. That's why they also have some races as well. The Hangtown Classic, I guess, is their most popular race. It's interesting how much more cautious I am on this bike. Like, even when I took the class, that was kind of good because they forced you to just do stuff. I was almost going to say shit. But they made us ride like up and down these hills doing switchbacks and stuff. And there's no way I would choose to going as slow as we can, locking up brakes and stuff. And there's no way I would choose to do that in my personal life. Let's see about opening up this vent. These Vava vents. Oh, there's a hole on my left. Oh, here we go. There's going to be a challenge here. I'll try to go up this big hill here. Ooh, big rock there. Yikes. I'm like not like a racer or a track guy, but I'd say, like, you know, the biggest thing from pavement to dirt is you gotta like think a lot more on the fly. You know, like your expectation isn't that the road's good and maybe there'll be an obstacle here and there. Like sometimes you're going up a trail and in an instant you gotta pick, you know, what's the best way for you to go. Cougar Trail. I used to do this a lot. It's a pretty tight, like, what I'd say, sluice going through here, like a tight little box. Let's see how bad it is now after it gets eroded down. Oh, that looks shitty there. I should have just went for it. Alright, now I'm kind of stuck going through this like a pansy. It's funny, on the other bike I used to just fly up and down that, and that wasn't like 10 years ago, that was like 2 years ago. It's bad. Sometimes I feel bad I use words like pansy and stuff, you know. This is the sandy section here. And I don't mean anything, like I say fairy and stuff. You know, it's tough, like you grow up saying words like that, not really meaning them to be like derogatory or anything. And then people start telling you like it's a derogatory term, or it's, you know, it's anti-gay or something. So I just want to get that out, like keep that in mind when I'm saying stuff like that. That's not my intent. I gotta concentrate for this. Another good thing riding on the dirt has taught me is like being more comfortable with the bike moving around under me. And I think that's probably why I feel more comfortable with motorcycles that have handlebars now rather than clip-ons. Maybe use my rear more. I think I could tell from this guy up here, he's probably a trials guy. Looks like he's got a trials helmet. I am getting hot. So I'm going to try to unzip my jacket a little more. Hit my camera a few times, so.
Intercom failed. Try again later.
Told me intercom failed. So maybe I'll cut off here, make sure the damn thing's filming. Peace out.